Buckle up, girls, gays, and ghouls. Your train is about to start driving. I am your Pacific Cooler Caprice son, Jalen.
And I am that weird tapping outside of your window right now, Carly.
And this is the Ghouly Girlies. We're having a lot more fun today. We need to get into the kind of real stuff first, though.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to start out with a quick little disclaimer because we need to be realistic and open and honest with all of you people to start. First of all, these are real people. Every single person that we're about to be talking about today is a real, living, breathing human that has been on this planet completely up until this moment. We're going to completely respect them, and we're going to take everything as either how it is written down on paper that was either proven to be true, or it's going to be a theory that's not true. That just came out of our brains.
Yes.
And that's what I got.
Our theories are theories.
Yes, and that's what they're saying.
Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. So, we will say allegedly a lot. Someone told me they watched it and they were like, "You say allegedly a lot," and I was like, "Yeah, because it's alleged. I'm not catching a case."
Yes.
But yeah, so that's the disclaimer. Just be respectful. We're talking about people that have lost their lives and families that are affected. Yeah, so that's our disclaimer. But that aside, how was your weekend? How was your week?
My week has been very good.
Yeah.
I was just in Cali, living it up.
My homestay.
Yes. I experienced much better weather than I'm experiencing right now.
Yeah.
I hate my life.
Yeah, we're about to get
here.
snow. So.
Yeah. I hate it every single second. But it's okay because now it's Thanksgiving and we're going to have fun.
Lots of food. Very
That's
excited.
True.
Happy pre-Eve Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving. Whenever you're watching this, whenever this comes out. It should come out tomorrow on Thanksgiving. So, kisses. But yeah, my baby is here, and ignore what I said of I won't be showing him on the internet. He might make an appearance because he's a little upset.
Yeah.
He's learning a new skill of eating his hand, so he doesn't want to sleep. So he's just out here. You may hear him.
Ghouly Girlies is filmed in front of a live studio audience.
Yes, JJ is the live studio audience.
Yeah.
But okay, do you want to get into the case?
Yes, so without further ado, let's talk about something that happened semi-recently. So today we're going to be getting into the Pike County murders. Where did this happen? Pike County, Ohio. Pike County is it's a pretty rural little area in southeast Ohio, so like 40 minutes east of Cincinnati, if you're familiar with the area. Pretty basic kind of setup with a lot of rural southern Ohio. It's going to be a little more poor, living out in the country, kind of far away from each other. Things like that. So that's where this was. A little bit of context too. We're going to be talking about a case that kind of stems from a custody dispute. Okay. So a little bit of context with Ohio is that it has been historically a mom state, which is very important for the context of this case. So basically, with a mom state, essentially there's more likelihood that a judge or the government would grant custody of a child to the mother rather than the father.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is for a multitude of reasons, but a lot of those reasonings do have to do with the fact that the other parent may be using drugs or alcohol. It was more historically a mom state back during when the events of this case was really getting and going. We're actually seeing quite a swing right now within kind of the custody field in Ohio. In the Midwest in general, just there's a lot of shifts, and then South is becoming more of like those mom states, which is interesting. And
so wait, was the South was more towards dads than it was moms?
Like historically.
Interesting.
Yeah. But then divorce was a little bit less likely down in the South too. Yeah. So there's some context. So yeah, where shall we get started? basically what had happened, imagine being a little 13-year-old girl and you have this really cute, really fun 18-year-old boyfriend. Yay!
Pause.
Yeah.
What year did this take place?
2016. Well, 2016 was when the murder happened.
Okay.
And at this point, the girl was 19, who was 13 at the time. So,
dating an 18-year-old.
yes.
In the 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So, basically, Hannah Rhodes was 13 years old, dating Jake Wagner, who was 18 at the time. Of course, what's going to happen when you're having fun, you're going to have a baby. And they stuck it out for a hot second. He was pretty abusive, of course, and things were kind of spiraling along. They were giving the child back and forth. They were doing pretty well. Their parents were family friends, and so, well, their dads were. So they knew each other, so that's kind of how they got to know each other.
Okay.
And so it was less of a grooming situation and just more of a power and control situation. And so he...
just as bad.
Yep. He was able to kind of get what he wanted out of her. And eventually they broke up, but he did not want them to break up.
I don't like him.
Yeah, no.
Said I'm scared for what's going to be told later, but right now it sounds like he should have been in prison off the get-go.
We got Jake Wagner dating Hannah Wagner. They have a kid. And eventually they break up because Hannah's saying, well, you're abusive, you're controlling, I don't really want to be around you. But they kind of stay friends throughout this process. And they co-parent moderately well.
Okay.
And he's telling everyone, well, I'm going to get full custody because she doesn't want to be a mom anymore. I'm going to get all of this stuff, but she's willingly giving this over. Like, I didn't have to fight at all. I'm not having a single problem with this. I'm getting whatever I want. And of course, while he's telling everyone this and that everything is going perfect, his life is going great, she's saying, I need to never see this man again. And so one day they're hanging out, and once again, everything is fine between the two. And she's basically saying, we're not going to split custody the way that you want to. And he's, of course, upset about this. So he goes home. Now, first off, before I go into this, he was very, very close with his family. Okay. His family was like close-knit. Okay. And something that would happen within their family is whenever they had to have like a big group decision between each other, they would put it to a vote. And this came up pretty consistently. They would put it to a huge vote. And then a lot of the times, the family was composed of a mom, a dad, a brother, and Jake. And a lot of the time, it was the three boys against the mom. You know. And he went to his close-knit family and he said, hey, I don't think I'm getting custody of this kid. And so his parents both kind of they band together at this point. I'm pretty sure they're divorced at this point, but they're still close.
Jake's mom and dad are divorced?
Yeah. There is this big story that's happening very consistently of couples being separated, but not necessarily being separated. I'm not sure if that's a cultural thing. I'm not sure if it's just, hey, we're close enough, we have kids together, let's just be friends. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's interesting though. You don't see that too often.
Yeah. The parents are kind of in on it together, and they're like, hey, we're gonna lawyer up and we're gonna get custody of this girl, and she's gonna sign over her rights and it's gonna be completely fine. Jake and his mom are kind of sleuthing around. And it's not said how they get this access, unless if there's somewhere on the internet or a recording or a discussion. Yeah, saying how they got access. But basically, they hacked into her Facebook. And they're reading her messages between herself and her friends. And
are they trying to get dirt on her? Is that what their goal is?
it's basically just a power and control thing, really, where they just want to know what she's saying, what she's doing. I'm assuming,
Ew.
allegedly, the reason why the mom is sleuthing as well is probably to get dirt.
That's what I figured, because if they're trying to, like, have her... I've seen this a lot, too, where people were, like, fake dirt on other people or, like, try to get stuff so then they would lose custody. You see that a lot where people try to... That's what it sounds like, is what they're doing, is trying to get dirt.
Yep. That's how it kind of sounded to me as well, so I didn't really think too deep into it. And they were looking, and Hannah had texted, I think it was a group chat, and she said, "He is not getting custody over my kid. If anyone sees any paper signed, they're forged, and he's not getting my kid over my dead body." Exact words, it is, "I'm not signing those papers. He'd have to kill me first."
She really said that?
Mm-hmm. She texted her friends that.
And so at this point, when they hack into her Facebook, is this in 2016?
Mm-hmm. Probably 2015 at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she is about 17, 18?
She's 18, 19.
She's 18, 19, okay.
Yeah. And so their custody battle is kind of going on, and Jake kind of goes to his family and is like, I think we need to kill her. And so Jake kind of says this elaborate plan to his family.
Did they do the voting system on it?
Mm-hmm.
I was just saying that too.
And something that is said about Jake very often is that he's a very convincing guy.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, he doesn't have to fight too hard to get his way.
Yeah.
He typically gets what he wants, stuff like that. And so he goes to his family and he says, "Hey, so we kill Hannah, we blame it on her boyfriend, and I get the kid." And they were like, "Okay, sounds about right." And they kind of sit on this plan for a little while. And eventually, stuff starts getting into action. So I'm going to actually name his family now. His father's name is George Billy Wagner. So I'm going to be calling him Billy the whole time. His mother is Angela. And her relevance is basically that she sleuths, get involved in people's business for no reason, and it has some knowledge about the law. Then there is older brother George. He's George the Fourth.
Oh.
Yeah. And he is kind of helping out to carry on the plan. So what they're doing at this point is Dad... So Billy and George are making these silencers for guns. I don't know a whole lot about guns, but basically you can create something that can make a gun completely silent.
Which is illegal. I know my fiance and his dad, they don't like guns, but they go shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make any, and of course correct me, but I'm pretty sure if you make any like modifications to your gun, that's not like government approved, it's illegal. I'm pretty sure silencers are illegal.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And it seems as though that George's whole point in this is to make the guns basically as deadly, quick, and silent, so unnoticeable as possible. So they're kind of going along this plan. Well, then Hannah gets pregnant again by some other man, her boyfriend. And a little bit while later, of course, she has the baby. And Jake is just fuming. He's like, how could she have another kid? Blah, blah, blah.
I was going to ask, how did he feel about her having a boyfriend?
Hates him.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the plan was originally to kill Hannah and the boyfriend, but make it look like, I forget his name. I'm pretty sure it was Corey, but don't quote me on that. I left my first fact sheet at home. But it was going to be kill Hannah, kill Corey, make it look like Corey killed himself.
Like
a
murder-suicide.
Yeah. And then they were going to get all of the evidence out, and then boom, done. So Hannah has the baby, and he's completely set off. He's kind of losing his mind at this point a little bit. And this losing his mind thing kind of comes into play a little bit further. But of course, this this murder is extremely planned, and there are a lot of minds involved in this. There are a lot of people saying, hey, we're gonna go, even though there's a lot of people that could be saying, hey, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Let's not be involved.
Why are they? Yeah. Why are they?
Yep. But this whole family is just so close.
Egging it on. Ew.
Yeah.
What?
And
okay, if you were in a situation where like one of like your siblings came up to you and was like, your mom, stepdad, your brother, everyone's in a room, okay, and they go, I'm gonna kill this person. We need to go do this.
I think
hello 911.
Yeah, like at least one person needs to say, hey,
you're kind of crazy for this.
Yeah, you're insane.
Let's not do that. Yeah.
Well, of course, they come up with this plan and they're gonna go to execute it. So Jake and Dad are stationed outside of the house. They are kind of going to kind of feel things out, see what's going on. And then the brother, he's somewhere else. I can't figure out where this brother is because 10 different sources say 10 different places. And you're going to notice that there is one storyline along this entire process that's pretty clear. That's Jake's storyline. He's pretty clear. We kind of know what's going on. Dad and other George, we don't really know what's going on. Jake says that Dad was going to go make the first shot, but he didn't end up doing it. And so Jake just went in there and he just started firing. Hannah got, I believe it was 5 bullets to the head. Someone else got so and so many bullets. And mind you, the boyfriend was a planned victim. He's not killed at all. So what happens is they go in there and they kill Dana Rodin, 37 years old. Christopher Rodin, 40 years old. Hannah, of course, 19 years old. Chris Jr., 16 years old. Clarence Frankie Rodin, 20 years old. Kenneth, their uncle, he was 44 years old. Gary, their cousin, he was 38 years old. And a different Hannah, that is Clarence Frankie Rodin's wife. So all of these people are gone. And
no one over the age of 50.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a very young family too. And another interesting piece to kind of bring up in this is there is a little bit of conscience going on in this case, because what happened? Investigators went in there and found a 5-day-old baby girl, a 6-month-old baby boy, and a 2-year-old baby boy completely unharmed. The newborn was covered in blood, but that is to be assumed because she was right next to her mom, who was Hannah. So Hannah, Jake's ex, had given birth. 5 days later, they went in and killed the whole family. Why would Billy be completely fine with going in and killing this family? This is when the story gets extremely crazy, because at this point, no one knows who did this. It took a long time for anyone to confess. I gave you all of this context just because the linear passage of events is just a lot easier than doing the whole whodunit thing.
I do have one question. Mm-hmm. So she gave birth when, okay, I don't know, let me know if I'm jumping the gun, but when did the police find the bodies? Like, how many days?
The next day.
And the baby was okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, the baby was okay.
Alive. The baby was alive.
Yep. Yeah, we can talk about their discovery a little bit. So they were found by Bobby Joe Manley, which is Christopher, who is the Rhodes family dad, his sister-in-law. So she went in to kind of go see what was going on and found all these 7 bodies just in the house. Well, actually, she just found her brother-in-law. And she called the police and said, help, I think my brother-in-law is dead. And at that point, she had left, and then the police had gone in and found the rest of the bodies. And the babies that were survived, of course. Going forward from there, this huge investigation goes on. Because, of course, this is a rural county.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone.
Right. It would spread quick.
Yeah, it spread like wildfire. And they, for some reason, could not figure out what was going on because there was a very reactive dog outside, 2 reactive dogs outside. They were both pit bulls, and everyone said that those dogs go crazy if they don't know who's at that door. So why were the dogs not set off? And even though it was a pretty rural town, yes, the neighbors weren't super close, like in proximity to each other, but they're close enough to hear gunshots. So they're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
How did we find all of these people with like 5, 6, 7 bullets in their bodies?
Yeah.
With minimal,
right,
no reports. And then when they investigated, they noticed that only one person really had defensive wounds, and that was the dad, the Christopher.
So he tried to fight the attacker.
Yeah, but barely. He could hardly even get into fighting because they didn't hear the gun. And so all of these other people in the household, yeah, they did not hear anything go off. They have no idea nothing's going on.
That's so scary. That's actually I can't even take notes anymore. I'm like that. Oh my god, I can't even. Well, I'm sure we'll get into it.
Yeah, there's all of these factors, so obviously, and it was very clear that the intruder got in and out extremely quick. Along with that, as you may have noticed, I only said that there were only 7 victims within the household.
Yeah.
There's an 8th victim, way far out, Kenneth, which is their uncle. And he lived in a house kind of further out, but he was still related to the Rhodes.
Okay.
He was Christopher's brother.
Okay.
So it actually took them a minute to notice that Kenneth was gone too, because one of their family friends was calling the entire family and being like, hey, our cousins are all gone. Hey, your uncles are all gone. And then they were like, wait a second, guys. Kenneth is not answering. What is going on? And he lived, it was close enough to walk, but it wasn't next door or anything like that.
Get what you mean.
And they went in there and they found him dead too. And they could obviously place the date to be the same date of death as all of these other people. So this happened in April of 2016. After 34 days of investigation with a $10,000 reward for anyone that could even come up with any information, people start to talk and say, hey, Hannah's boyfriend was pretty abusive and he really wanted custody of their kid. And also, we may be wondering, where was their kid during this murder?
Yeah.
The kid was with them. Was with the Wagners. So she was having a fun night with Grandma and Grandpa on her dad's side, and Dad was hanging out with her, and his uncle was there. They were all being this lovely close family. And after they put her to bed, they went over and killed her family. So people are starting to talk, and they're like, what is going on? Why is it that, what? He has custody. He wanted custody. What is happening? And eventually it came out that there were a lot more people roped into this than it was previously thought. Yeah. And it kind of makes you wonder, what is the motive? Like, why would a family be so against another family to where they would be completely fine with killing this whole other group?
And Kenneth down the road.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. So Kenneth and Christopher, and a little bit their cousin Gary. Okay. Cousin Gary was like kind of in on it. They were all selling marijuana. They were pretty big marijuana distributors. And so what kind of caused, a red herring? A diversion?
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yep, no, that's red herring.
Yeah, whatever. What caused the red herring was, oh hey, these people were all selling drugs, and they were pretty big on selling drugs. We think they got in with the mafia.
Oh, so is that like people are being like, oh, they were killed by them?
Mm-hmm. So that's what a lot of people thought. And for some reason, the entire Pike County Sheriff's Department completely ran with this lead for a very long time, and they were completely fine. It eventually took 2 years to arrest the Wagners.
2 years?
Yup. 2 years. And it was because little Miss Rita Newcomb, she is Angela Wagner's mother. And she goes...
The Wagners are the bad guys, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, before I get into that, during these 2 years, all 3 of the boys, they went to the funerals for most of the girls within the Rhodes family. Were very big advocates for trying to make sure that things were kind of settled, and getting those other babies adopted out was also kind of one of their big things they were working towards.
I hate them.
And
they wouldn't need to be adopted if they didn't do that.
Another thing that they were doing all while this was kind of going on was also selling weed. Billy's weed business is now booming.
Because they took out Kenneth?
Mm-hmm. The cops were kind of talking to him, and they were like, hey, aren't you also selling weed? And it wasn't legal at the time, and he was like, no. And they asked him, well, what's your affiliation with Christopher? And he was like, well, Christopher and I, we were going to go buy a house on the beach. We were going to go rent out some ladies, and we were going to go drink till the day's over. Every single day for the rest of our lives. They were like, oh, okay, so you're pretty close friends. Yeah, we're good friends. And they were good friends. So those two dads being friends is how Jake and Hannah got together. And so...
Right, you did say that, okay.
Yeah.
I do have, not a weird question, but because it seems like the Kenneth murder was really random compared to, like, the other ones that were clearly premeditated. So was his murder because they wanted their weed business, the Wagners wanted their weed business to, like, go off, and so they're just like, take out Kenneth on the road?
So that's a piece of where this gets fuzzy.
Okay.
Because it has to do with one of our other friends.
Oh, the floor is yours.
Yeah. So, once again, making sure to really hone in on this, Jake's story is crystal clear. We got the custody dispute that we want to make sure that we can figure out.
Right.
How did he rope his family into it?
Right.
He is a charming guy, and he begged them.
They voted on it.
Why would they vote on it? We don't know at this time. And that is because this case relies on confessions. Because for some reason, the investigation process of this entire thing gets extremely fuzzy.
Okay.
And the reason for this is theorized to be because these people are making so much money on their weed, they're making money for the county, and they're doing good stuff for the economy. It's very... Have you ever seen Bates Motel?
Yeah.
It's very much like that,
No,
I'm realizing.
No.
Yeah.
You know, this kind of reminds me of our last episode when it was like, why didn't the police do what we thought they were going to do with Aisha Degree? It's because maybe they're getting paid off by all these people that own all this land. That's literally what that... I'm really mad. Yeah. I'm like actually so frustrated right now.
Yeah, and that was one of the big things with the custody dispute, was they couldn't just pay their way into getting what they wanted.
Oh.
So their process of getting what they wanted the fair way wasn't really working, because Hannah had all of this evidence that Jake was super abusive, and that's starting to come up as well, which is why the rest of the town's kind of raising their eyebrow at Jake.
Yeah.
So that's starting to happen, and I can't for the life of me tell you why this had happened, but this family, for some reason, they're just so close, but they all told each other what happened. So the 4 of the main family, they're all in on it together.
Yeah.
But then they tell Angela's mom, they tell Billy's mom. So these 2 are also prime witnesses. And Jake goes off and gets married within these 2 years of him being free, and Angela and Billy divorce at some point within this timeline, and then Billy gets remarried. So all of these people know what's going on.
And no one went to the police?
Rita Newcomb, she goes to the police and says, I'm pretty sure actually this is the point where they are starting to get eyed as suspects because they're being very suspicious, and
They should have been suspects to begin with.
So they bring Miss Rita Newcomb on the stands because she's the only person that's really willing to go up on the stands. Because at this point, because there's no evidence, it's voluntary.
Okay.
She goes up and she says, it's just not very Christian of me to hold this secret in for much longer.
Did she actually say that? Did she really say that?
Nearly exactly what she said.
You know what? God is good. Yeah, that accent and everything in Ohio.
Yep. She said, I just can't keep this on my conscience no more. I just have to tell y'all.
If that, as frustrating as it is that so many fucking people knew about this, so many people. It took Rita coming forward, bless her. That's, you know what, good job. Because I'm sure she might have been scared, right? It sounds like that family's kind of, like, the Wagners aren't intimidating.
Yep. And this still does nearly nothing for a very long time for some reason. Yeah. So now this family basically gets their warning, like, oh, we're gonna get caught. We need to get stuff done now. So, what they're getting done, though, is hiding money, going to Alaska, and getting divorced. Everyone just got divorced. And Jake's ex-wife, Beth Ann, she is kind of being like, Jake is low-key kind of abusive, and he stinks, and I think he has something to do with these murders. Even though I'm pretty sure she knows.
She had to have known.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the kind of guy that would brag about that.
We do not have confirmed if she actually did know or not, but she did basically go to the police and say, hey,
I think, yeah,
you guys need to look into this a little bit more.
Yeah.
And at this point, they were named Billy, Angela, George IV, and Jake. They were all named as the prime suspects.
Yeah.
And they're all being given these wonderful lawyers because they're rich. And their lawyers are basically working out these huge plea deals. And I'm sure you know this, but Ohio used to be like one of the big death penalty states for a hot second.
Yeah.
And the death penalty was on the roster because, of course, there's 8 victims. Like, why wouldn't there be? And they just have to figure out what happened and why.
Right.
Jake was being given the highest amount because eventually, at some point, they figured out that he did have something to do with the murders. It wasn't that he committed all of them. It was just, hey, you have something to do with this. And he's basically given a cookie. And on that cookie, it says, confess and you won't die. Smiley face. So he goes up onto the sand and he completely pleads everything.
Really?
He tells them everything from his side of the story.
Wow.
And then, actually, I think Angela's the one that does it first. Yes.
He was under oath.
Yep. So, we have 3 people that plead at this point. Rita, Angela, and Jake. Angela's plea is, like, just stupid. She basically says, yes, I had something to do with it. I knew what was going on, but it was my family. And what was I supposed to do? This is a very summarized version of what she actually said.
Hold on, okay. If JJ grew up and came to me and said, I'm gonna kill my partner, I would be like, I'm calling the cops right now.
Yeah.
And 2, you know how people are like, if my best friend cheated on her partner, I wouldn't say anything. Motherfucker, I would. What do you mean? What? It's my family. What was I supposed to do? Tattle? Go to the police.
Yeah. And apparently her role in it was cleaning up, so there were no shell casings of any of the bullets in any of the entire thing.
Can I ask a morbid question?
Yes.
Did they find some in the victims?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if she went that far or not. So
yeah, sorry, they didn't find any on the floor.
On the floor, yeah, the casings, but the actual bullets. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
They cleaned up after themselves, but they didn't do that great. Apparently, they did really good because they still haven't found any direct evidence yet other than the police. So, yeah. At this point, Jake tells the judge his father and brother's parts in this, but he takes the fall for literally everything. He says, all my mother did was clean up, and we kind of threatened her, so fair enough that she went along with it. So he basically took that off of her.
Okay.
My father helped create the silencers, but other than that, he didn't fire a single gun. My brother did not fire a single gun.
Are you gonna get to where George the Fourth is in all this? Because where was he?
I don't know.
You don't know? No one knows?
Literally, the reason why I don't know is because a lot of the media coverage is based on what Jake said. But also, George the Fourth never came forward and said anything, and there's no evidence of his involvement.
I guess you'll get to their charges.
I'm pretty sure they are going to be sentenced shortly. So basically, yeah, my timeline got completely warped up a little bit, so sorry, y'all. Rita confesses in 2018.
Okay.
Mom confesses sometime in 2019. Jake confesses in 2021. And then Jake doesn't get sentenced until 2024. If Billy or George the Fourth confess, I just don't know about it yet. And also, this research was really hard because I feel like a lot of this is being covered up.
Seems like it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All of the government documentation says the same amount of nothing, basically. And it's so hard to find a clear line on where George the Fourth has to do with any of this, because it's clear a lot of their involvement.
Yeah.
Mom cleaned up. Dad owned all of the gun S that were used within this case. So what, was Jake just running around with 2 guns? And how did he do that fast completely by himself? You know?
I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
George the Fourth.
Mm-hmm. Jake has a full confession.
Yeah.
And he goes in front of the stands and he says, I am a completely changed man now. God has completely changed me. I have repented for everything that I've done. For the entire rest of my life, I pled for your family. I pled so that I could make sure that I can suffer for you guys and make sure that I do right by you for the rest of my life, basically.
You pled so that you can suffer, right? That's pretty much what he said, so I can suffer for what I did. You wouldn't have to do that if you didn't do what you did.
Mm-hmm.
If 8 innocent people didn't lose their lives,
mm-hmm.
and a baby wasn't found covered in blood,
mm-hmm.
you wouldn't have to. Seems like 2024
mm-hmm.
is when he was charged.
Mm-hmm.
Was the mom charged?
The mom was charged semi-recently as well.
Being an accomplice, I'm guessing.
Yeah, she got 30 years
tampering
with
evidence.
parole.
Tampering with evidence and probably an accomplice is what I would assume.
That is exactly it. So she got charged with tampering and knowledge, so knowing what was going on. Both of the grandmas got charged with knowing what was going on as well.
Granny is in prison because
mm-hmm.
she didn't want to go to the police
mm-hmm.
that she knew. You know what?
Yep. And so where this gets really fuzzy is Jake's exact words were that, well, not his exact words, I don't got all these words memorized. He said that he was outside of the house with his dad. Okay. First of all, there's no way he was outside of the house with his dad. Because there was no signs of a break-in. No signs of any sort of additional crimes other than the family's phones all being missing. Yeah.
What?
So that also goes into the whole thing at the beginning where it was very clear that people knew that the people who committed these murders knew who they were.
Oh, okay. Can I say my theory real quick? Okay, this is my theory. It's not actually a theory. I'm pretty sure this is what happened. George the Fourth with his dumb name and Jake whatever the fuck.
Edward Jake.
That's even worse. Those two. They go up to the house, they knock, and they're like, okay, yeah, come in. And then they kill everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even my theory. I do believe strongly that is what happened.
And that's where I feel like there's a lot more police tampering going on. Because they're telling the story of the gunshots were fired outside of the house.
But the bodies were inside.
bodies were inside, no bullet holes through the walls.
No break-in.
Yeah. And this was not addressed at all by the police or anyone. So it's clear that they were inside, but how did Jake commit 8 murders in such a short span of time with no one noticing?
Yeah.
Except for the dad who had minor defensive wounds. So he was already shot, basically, by the time he was fighting.
And I feel like, too, if it was just Jake in there with one gun, someone could have made it out. I mean, I guess I can understand, like, the drug business funds a lot of the economy, like you said, and that obviously would go towards the police as well. But why would they tamper that hard? There's other people that deal drugs, especially in Ohio. And it's the fact that Hannah gave birth not even 5 days prior to a little girl, right? I feel defeated. I feel like... side note, did Ohio get rid of the death penalty?
I'm pretty sure either that or they just haven't had one in a really long time.
I'm just so, like, I'm hot. I'm like... So many people knew about it. No one came forward for 2 years. For 2 years. No one was, like, suspicious, being like, oh, he really wanted custody of that kid. Now suddenly she's dead and he has custody. That didn't cross anyone's minds.
To me, it's so frustrating because they were like, oh, well, we got a plea. We don't need to do much more. We're done. See ya. This case is less than 10 years old. And they're just like, okay, it's solved. We got a confession. We're good.
People lost their lives.
And why did Kenneth die?
Why did Kenneth die? That was so... Uncle Kenneth down the road. That's such... That to me is why I was like, oh, maybe they're trying to take out the competition for weed.
And that's why we think dad and brother didn't really fight him on it. They were like, okay, yeah, we'll get this competition out. But the original plan was only ex-girlfriend and her boyfriend. The boyfriend never died.
Yeah, where was he?
I don't even know where he is now. He's chilling. He's somewhere. He's not one of the 8. That's what I know.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't have, like, survivor's guilt. If he knows that he was supposed to be one of the only ones. So, my question is, were they aware that there were going to be other people besides Hannah in the house?
So, that is also something that is really confusing based on this confession, because they're saying that Jake and Dad were looking inside from out of there.
Right.
They said that they were on a hill looking inside, like down and in. And he said, my dad couldn't start shooting, so I just started.
But there was no broken glass?
And so that makes you question more. They were looking, but they had a plan. And apparently this has been getting planned for months. And it just happened to set him over the edge after she gave birth. He knew she was pregnant for a long time.
9 months, yeah.
Yeah.
There's, like, more questions than there are answers, even though it's solved.
There's so many confessions.
Yeah, but why... Okay, so obviously he was inside. No way he could have been outside. How do you see into a house from a hill? That also, unless you have binoculars or a sniper rifle?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like they had that. It sounds like they had, like, just a pistol or something. And there were so many other people in there. Why didn't they just be like, oh, I'm gonna back out? And it obviously could not have been done by one person. No way.
And where did they park?
Yeah,
it's 4 people.
Actually, yeah.
Like, it's 4 people. So I'm assuming they went in there just being like, hey guys, like, how's it going?
Yeah,
I'm your ex and we're all friends.
I wonder if... This is morbid, but I do wonder if they, like, restrained them or something. And that's how they easily, like, they tied them up or something and then took the rope.
But there's no defensive wounds.
I mean, if a gun's pointed at you, are you really going to fight back that hard?
True.
You know what I mean? Because there's some cases where, like, a home, like, a robber breaks in and is like, oh, tie up everybody and then tie yourself up. It could have been that kind of thing.
Hannah's baby was covered in blood.
Yeah.
So she had the baby with her, and they chose not to kill the baby. So
where was the baby when they found her?
I think somewhere like on her or near her. Yeah.
Oh, that made me nauseous. Oh, that made me so nauseous. She was holding her newborn baby.
5 days old.
And then when they found her dead body, the baby was still in her arms.
Something to that effect.
Oh, that makes me feel nauseous. That makes me feel really nauseous. And then there were how many other kids that were alive that they found in that house?
3. Well, not other kids. So 3 kids, a 5-day-old, a 6-month-old, and a 2-year-old.
So babies. They're all just babies.
But then they still killed the 16-year-old. So I would have to guess that if these other family members, if they weren't in the line of just being victims just to be victims, because once again, this is a very planned attack.
Yeah.
With a lot of people involved. They had to have, the other ones would have had to have seen something at least.
Yeah.
To have made them want to kill them.
Yeah.
But where is George IV?
Where is George IV? The only other thing I can think of with George IV, dumbass name, is that sorry to any George IVs out there, that's not this guy. Your name isn't dumb. His name is just dumb. My brain is melting right now trying to was George IV maybe taking care of Kenneth?
And why you don't know this because I'm teaching you this information right now. Why is there no timestamps on any of these police reports?
There's not?
No. All we know is that it happened that night.
Because normally they'll be like 9:48.
Because it would be a huge difference if Christopher died at 9:48 and Kenneth died at 9:49 in completely different houses.
Yeah.
Then obviously this whole thing of there was only one gunman and everyone else was just helping out and keeping secrets. Completely different.
I almost wonder if the police maybe had like an issue with like Hannah's family or something like that, and so they just kind of let it happen without. But then I don't what.
And I was even more confused because everyone is just fine with this plea. Everyone was just like, okay, they plead.
7 people are dead. You're not gonna even like try to figure out like more, unless they were all magically sitting in a very straight line on the couch or something. How did one person just go? And do you know what kind of gun it was?
No.
No.
No, sorry.
So unless it was like a one you didn't have to like, or reload it, whatever.
Yeah, he would have had silencers can't just silence everything.
No, you would have had to reload it too at some point because you said Hannah was shot 5 times.
5.
Yeah, you would have had to reload it. Guns don't have endless bullets.
Yeah, and no one had just 1 bullet. Everyone had at least 3.
That to me sounds like that was definitely more than just one person.
Yeah,
and this is my official theory. George IV was at Kenneth's house. Jake and his dad did the deed there. And I think Jake just took the fall for it all because he didn't want his family roped into his craziness. But then his family is also crazy for even going along with it in the first place. You have to reload a gun. You have to cock a gun. If there's 7 people, there were 4 men in the house.
All 44 and under. So they're all very able-bodied.
Yeah. That's very strange to me. Because like I said, you have to reload it. You have to aim it. I don't... to me, that even sounds like it would have to be like 3 people, not just even 2.
Yeah. Who was home with this 2-year-old while they all did this?
Yeah. Because wait, Jake's mom was with them, you said?
She cleaned up.
Yeah, she was the cleanup.
Or that's what they said she did.
Allegedly. In the confession. I can't. That is so incredibly sad. I can't stop thinking about those poor babies. Like, what, especially the 2-year-old, what they might have seen.
Yeah.
It's a heavy, heavy case.
Yeah. And I didn't get anything about how late at night this happened because it couldn't have been that late at night because apparently the deaths happened on April 21st and they were found the morning of April 22nd. So unless if a nearly full 24 hours went into this, so like 3 a.m. the 21st and then 8 a.m. the 22nd, then it would have been before midnight on the 21st. So you mean to tell me a 16-year-old boy is fast asleep at 11:30 at night? He could be.
I mean...
But all of these young 20-year-olds are all asleep. So dead asleep that...
I just can't... I just can't stop thinking about her holding the baby.
I don't know that for a fact, but the baby was covered in blood. And I guess that was the only child that had any blood on them, according
she would have had to been. And also a 5-day-old, like, when JJ was born, I was holding him constantly at first.
Yeah.
Because they constantly need attention.
Yeah. There's just such a huge lack of official documents on this.
It sounds like... It almost sounds like the police didn't care enough. They're like, oh, this guy's confessing, whatever. Like,
but then we also think about, okay, it's a sheriff town. There's very limited resources. These people are poor.
Yeah.
Well, not the people.
Yeah.
It's a poor town, blah, blah, blah. But then you think about the fact that they had, like, 4 different police forces working on this. There were so many people involved.
And it still took that long. Because they went with the mafia theory.
The mafia theory seemed real appealing.
Why would the mafia be in Ohio? Of all places.
Yep.
Ohio. I mean, at least there's justice in some form, you know? But it's one of those things, it's just sad that, like, only the people that died that night know what happened. And, like, only Jake and his family truly know what happened. Don't you
find it interesting that, once again, what Jake said happened? Like, Jake just gets what he wants. Yeah. So now his family is, like, fine. I know his dad, he's not fully sentenced yet, from what I know, but he does have... It's either at least 81 years or at capped 81 years.
Some life.
Yeah, he's gonna die there.
Yeah.
But only 81 years? Jake got 161 years.
Good. Yeah. I hope they rot. And you can say, as someone who believes in God, I know that it's the whole, oh, as long as you just pray for forgiveness, you'll be forgiven. I don't think that. I like to think that's not what's gonna happen, and I also don't believe that he is reformed. If it took months of planning to kill someone, why weren't you reformed in between that? Yeah. It took you getting charged with murder and almost the death penalty for you to suddenly find God? No way. No way, dude. But again, at least justice was served in some way, but that doesn't take away the fact that 3 kids lost, like, their parents, their family, and 2 kids are technically orphaned. I mean, I don't know about the other ones if their mom and dad were there too. Yeah. Yeah? Yes. So all the kids are orphaned. That does not take away, and I hate the fact that Jake Wackoff tried to make it seem like he was some savior. Like, come on. You're not, dude. You're not gonna stand up there and go, I'm doing this for you guys. You can sleep at night. You shouldn't have done it to begin with. Are you dumb? People didn't have to lose their lives because you were upset that you abused a woman, she found happiness, had another baby, and that suddenly set off your fucking ego. Good for Rita coming forward. And, I mean, Jake's wife, second wife, whatever, good for her coming forward too, because I'm sure they were scared too. Yeah. That does take a lot of courage, especially in the face of an abuser. So I'll give credit where credit is due there. Absolutely. But the grandmas, the mom, the dad...
And it's just so disheartening and annoying, the fact that this is a case with 3 separate confessions. Yeah. And we still, like, it took, 25 seconds of critical thinking skills to realize we don't actually know what happened. So yeah, congratulations, you now know the same amount of nothing as you did before we started to film this podcast. about this.
I feel like put us in the detective room. I feel like anyone with, like you said, critical thinking skills. It had to have been something that they were in cahoots with the police, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I will give the brief disclaimer of the fact that this is not a closed case, so I'm sure there's probably so much information that is just not being put out yet. We trust you, Pike County Sheriff's Department, that you're doing your jobs.
I would like to trust that they'll do what they gotta do and do it with honor and dignity. Drugs don't need to run the economy. It's Ohio. Everyone does drugs. I feel like it needs to be talked about. Anything with victims, the victims need to be talked about, and that is so incredibly sad that Hannah's kids are without a mom. And one is without a mom and a dad now. All because of whatever ego, toxic masculinity Jake Wackoff had.
So yeah, if you have any more information on this case, you can tell someone. I did the most research I possibly could with reading the same thing over and over.
That was very interesting. Thank you for doing the research and talking about it. And if we missed anything, comment below and let us know what we missed, or if, I don't know, anything was wrong, like in the last episode, let us know if anything was wrong. But yeah, so next week, I am doing the disappearance of the Jack family in Canada. That was such a heavy case that I don't even know how to end this now. I just keep thinking of those poor kids.
We're just gonna run straight into an outro because we're tired and we just talked about intense murder for a long period of time.
And now I have a baby!
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell icon. I'm just gonna say all the stuff that all the YouTubers say. And we love you. We might be on some sort of podcasting platforms eventually. We'll get there. At some point. At some point. We have to figure out how to do that. We haven't yet. Yeah. We're busy little ladies. We tried. We really did try. We did. Alright. I love you guys. Lots of love. Please be sure to leave comments about how much you absolutely hated the ASMR moments.
And my baby crying.
Yeah.
Goodbye!
Bye! Lots of love, XOXO.
Gossip Girl.